America is fallen, turned our men into women. Our billionaires get private islands where they're trafficking children. The flag is burning in the streets, we don't believe the politicians. We defunded the police and free speech has been restricted. And Canada has fallen, their dollar ain't worth a buck. If you misgender someone there, you're getting fined or locked up. Trudeau censored the internet, then they banned half the guns. The trucker convoy was the last breath of freedom in their lungs. And the UK has fallen, getting woker every day. It's illegal immigrants throwing acid into faces. Protests and riots, COVID record inflation. The people lost their freedom, Great Britain lost its greatness. America to Europe, across the globe. Every country, every city, every neighborhood and home. It's infecting everything and everybody that we know, so just say it. Screw everything woke. Say it at the top of your lungs, don't let it go. Scream it out into the streets, I promise that you're not alone. Go ahead, say it with your chest way down deep in your soul, but just say it. Screw everything woke.
Rise up, I can see your fire. You and me, we can burn what they built to the ground. Burn everything woke. Rise up, can't let them divide us. You and me, we can burn this woke world down. Burn everything woke.
America has fallen, woke became a disease. They've made trillions off of mandatory lethal vaccines. The anthem plays and half the country is still taking a knee. Blacks and whites fighting over whose life matters the least. And Canada has fallen, people can't afford to pay for food. The media's all liberal, it's nothing but the fake news. There's oil in the ground and pipelines they refuse to use. You're only heard if you're Indigenous or LGBTQ. Australia has fallen, Ireland been up in flames. People rioting and dying, divided, fighting for change. And from Canada to Finland, Denmark back to USA, it's a woke world. That's what we're standing up against. America to Europe, across the globe. Every country, every city, every neighborhood and home. It's infecting everything and everybody that we know, so just say it. Screw everything woke. Say it at the top of your lungs, don't let it go. Scream it out into the streets, I promise that you're not alone. Go ahead, say it with your chest way down deep in your soul, but just say it. Screw everything woke.
Rise up, I can see your fire. You and me, we can burn what they built to the ground. Burn everything woke. Rise up, can't let them divide us. You and me, we can burn this woke world down. Burn everything woke.
The whole world's fallen to the globalist elite. They want one God, one leader, one currency. It's the cigarettes, the vaccines, the food that you eat. Either way, the deep state wants you 6 feet deep. Fill your headphones with music, reinforcing their beliefs, and replace your own thoughts with the lies on TV. It's a woke world, and we won't survive if we're asleep. So wake up before you rest in peace.
Rise up, I can see your fire. You and me, we can burn what they built to the ground. Burn everything woke. Rise up, can't let them divide us. You and me, we can burn this woke world down. Burn everything woke.
America is fallen, turned our men into women. Our billionaires get private islands where they're trafficking children. The flag is burning in the streets, we don't believe the politicians. We defunded the police and free speech has been restricted. And Canada has fallen, their dollar ain't worth a buck. If you misgender someone there, you're getting fined or locked up. Trudeau censored the internet, then they banned half the guns. The trucker convoy was the last breath of freedom in their lungs. And the UK has fallen, getting woker every day. It's illegal immigrants throwing acid into faces. Protests and riots, COVID record inflation. The people lost their freedom, Great Britain lost its greatness. America to Europe, across the globe. Every country, every city, every neighborhood and home. It's infecting everything and everybody that we know, so just say it. Screw everything woke. Say it at the top of your lungs, don't let it go. Scream it out into the streets, I promise that you're not alone. Go ahead, say it with your chest way down deep in your soul, but just say it. Screw everything woke.
Rise up, I can see your fire. You and me, we can burn what they built to the ground. Burn everything woke. Rise up, can't let them divide us. You and me, we can burn this woke world down. Burn everything woke.
America is falling. fallen, woke became a disease. They've made trillions off of mandatory lethal vaccines. The anthem plays and half the country is still taking a knee. Blacks and whites fighting over whose life matters the least. And Canada has fallen, people can't afford to pay for food. The media's all liberal, it's nothing but the fake news. There's oil in the ground and pipelines they refuse to use. You're only heard if you're indigenous or LGBTQ. Australia has fallen, Ireland been up in flames. People rioting and dying, divided, fighting for change. And from Canada to Finland, Denmark back to USA, it's a woke world. That's what we're standing up against. America to Europe, across the globe. Every country, every city, every neighborhood and home. It's infecting everything and everybody that we know. So just say it. Screw everything woke. Say it at the top of your lungs, don't let it go. Scream it out into the streets, I promise that you're not alone. Go ahead, say it with your chest way down deep in your soul, but just say it. Screw everything woke.
Rise up, I can see your fire. You and me, we can burn what they built to the ground. Burn everything woke. Rise up, can't let them divide us. You and me, we can burn this woke world down. Burn everything woke.
The whole world's fallen to the globalist elite. They want one God, one leader, one currency. It's the cigarettes, the vaccines, the food that you eat. Either way, the deep state wants you 6 feet deep.
When you get figured out on shelves and stuff, because we're starting to get more and more props here, and eventually it'll cover the entire table, and that'll be a problem because I've got the propaganda we talked about last week, the American anti-Nazi propaganda, and then we got Ken Dudley's glasses over there on the table as well.
Yeah.
And we still need to release his episode, but it's stuck on Logan's computer, and Logan is probably at least 1,000 miles away from his computer.
Yeah.
So I can't really get it. That's the edited one. I could always post the unedited, but I don't want to post the unedited because he's supposed to have gone up to help clean up the audio to make sure Ken Dudley's wife, who's in the background, could be heard better. Which, honestly, listening to our audio, I don't think it was that bad to begin with, so I probably could just go ahead and release it.
So, do you want to introduce your special guest?
I got 2 awesome special guests sitting all the way over there in seat number 2. I got Logachu. Over there. He's taking up the spot for Logan today. Logachu's doing a wonderful job.
At least he's not wearing a dress revealing his shoulders.
Yes, he's not wearing anything revealing today because he's not wearing anything.
Or is he furry?
He's just got his body hair. And I tried to go with John Goo, like Grogu with John Goo, but it doesn't sound great. So it's just Grogu. Whatever. I mean, John's short, Grogu's short. Ironically, he's got my hot sauce, which John does not like hot sauce.
Apparently he does.
Yeah, Grogu does like hot sauce because his people are cultured. John can't handle hot sauce. I mean, he handles white people spice, not real spice. So
I think Logan's feeling a little left out, but we'll fix that another time.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a day. Yeah, you want to get rid of that hit. There. No. Okay, doesn't matter. That works. All right. Sorry, she had some crap up on the screen, so I couldn't see exactly what the heck was going on with that myself. Got a few topics today. Well, we got a picture here from Not to Be. You can see this picture. Scroll on down, babe. You got the protagonist here of the Patriot doing the Lord's work right now, trying to go around and get rid of these flock cameras for us. Flock camera decided that it was a great idea to brag about finding out and helping police find the person who used the weapon in self-defense. I don't like flock cameras generally, but this is kind of like a milquetoast take. Honestly.
They didn't know it was self-defense. They were just looking for a suspect.
Well, that's the thing is all they knew is that there was shots fired in the area, and they just helped them identify who actually fired the shot. But the shot was fired in self-defense, and rightfully, the police did their job and were able to figure out what happened and determine that it was a self-defensive use of firearms. So it's innocuous. At least it wasn't in New York State, because New York State it's illegal to defend yourself. basically.
That's sad.
Yeah, I know, I got my poison here to kill me in the process of all this crap.
Or your kids keeping you up too late.
Yeah, I know. I probably shouldn't have said it like that, because that will probably get censored on YouTube for all I know. So scroll up, let me read that tweet. So from Flock Safety, which is really more like Flock Spy Agency, is what it should be called. A shots fired call at the Meta campus reached 911 more than 8 minutes after the incident, giving the suspect time to leave before officers were even dispatched. Using Flock LPR technology. See, this is the thing. They call these license plate readers LPR, license plate readers. This is not a damn license plate reader if it's identifying gunshots and then helping identify where the person went. This is not a license plate reader to help them identify, oh, this kidnapper that they have a partial plate of that they're trying to find the kid, or they're trying to find the vehicle of, so they can get the kid and take him home. That's not what this is. Flock Camera keeps advertising themselves as license plate readers when they are not license plate readers. They are AI powered cameras that create fingerprints for every single vehicle, so your vehicle can be identifiable even without the license plate itself. Alright, sorry. Let's continue. Using Flock LPR technology alongside Skydio, however that's pronounced, drone, Altoona PD quickly located the suspect's vehicle, coordinated with Iowa State Patrol and the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and made the stop within minutes. Officers recovered the firearm, and the investigation determined the incident was an act of self-defense with no injuries. So really, basically, the cops just wasted their time because no one was hurt. And clearly, the gun did its job. The guys didn't keep attacking the person, and he was able to walk away safe.
Yeah.
So, this is really just a waste of police resources, but that's what they do. And then, of course, we got that freaking faggy crap there on the right-hand side of the screen. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
In-
that's a little... Ugh.
This is why we need to normalize castration as a punishment for crimes. Alright.
Or make it indecent exposure is not allowed.
Yeah, so scroll on down. So we got Flock cameras have been spreading like cancer across the United States since January of 2024. Flock is not the only company. I don't know of this map that they've done, and you don't need to play it, but I believe there's a map out there where it shows all the Flock cameras popping up. I don't know if it's just the Flock brand cameras, but Flock is not the only one doing it. And so it's like, if we just ban Flock cameras, if we're doing it just banning Flock cameras, we're not really getting anywhere.
Yeah, because the article we caught last time said if it's not Flock doing it, someone else is going to do it.
Which is why we need to ban AI-powered security cameras. In general, out in public. If a private company wants to use them inside their business, they're welcome to use it. But if it's outside, facing the public, I would argue, like the Supreme Court, it's a violation of privacy. And what I mean by the Supreme Court is the Supreme Court hasn't ruled on this at all, but they did rule on a case where this guy had robbed a store, and then the police just were able to go and get all the data of all the people from their cell phones who were in the area at the time. And so it was a dragnet warrant is what they effectively called it. And they did rule that that was a violation of the U.S. Constitution. So even if they are collecting this information, it is debatable that they even legally can use this information for law enforcement purposes. This information can be collected, but they still, under that Supreme Court decision, they'll have to rule on this specifically. But under that Supreme Court decision, it's arguable that they would still need to first identify the people before they even go to Flock camera, and then get a warrant specifically for that person.
Yeah.
Or at least specific for the information on that person. So So that's pretty much it. This whole take is kind of a milquetoast thing, honestly. Yeah, it's weird. This company is able to do this. But that's the era we're entering, where we have companies that have immense amount of power. I mean, it's what Elon Musk is doing with... I had predicted this a while back when Elon Musk had first taken over Twitter, is that he was going to long-term utilize Twitter and SpaceX. Starlink together, effectively to create the most powerful weapon of free speech in the history of the world. And he kind of utilized it. He didn't use it with Starlink. He just used his X platform, where with Germany, when they
banned a video.
Yeah, well, they banned a movie that was about frickin' these women, a documentary about these women who had gotten assaulted by a Muslim grape gang. So what happened is he decided for a few days to make it free to watch for everyone in Germany, effectively circumventing their ban. Now, if he can do that and incorporate it with Starlink, well, now you can see where the problem comes in for a lot of countries that are isolated, like North Korea. He will be able to give people their internet access and then give them whatever information he wants to give them.
And remember, I told you people in Great Britain, the Muslims in Great Britain, were telling the government to ban that movie from being allowed in Great Britain because they did not want it to be being shown at all.
Yeah, who knows? Well, why would the people ever want to be informed about what's happening to their neighbors' children?
They're saying it was anti-Muslim propaganda.
You know, technically true. It is technically true that it would be anti-Muslim propaganda. That doesn't mean that it's a lie.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yes, everything that's utilized in that manner, like this piece here, though, too. This piece that we had here, this anti-Nazi propaganda, it's anti-Hitler propaganda. Just because it's propaganda doesn't mean it's a lie. Now, this has actually a lot of true things in it. It's actually kind of funny. But this is meant as a satire piece as compared to, like, that movie was meant as a documentary.
Yeah.
Propaganda is just... It's
against
it's information. Movement. It's information pushing for a particular political outcome. That's what propaganda is. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie if it's propaganda.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with these flock cameras, though. Is what was it? There's that there. I don't think we have the story here, but there was that lady who received a ticket from an officer. They came by to deliver the ticket to him based off of flock camera information. But Flock got it wrong. Their AI got it wrong.
Yeah.
And she was able to prove that it was not her. But Flock camera was like, no, it's her.
If it's the one I'm thinking about, it's because she doesn't have a hand.
Yeah.
And they thought she was talking on
that's the thing, is it's guilty until proven innocent. And, you know, there are some states like Utah, we'll get into this in some future articles. Utah has been trying to do things where it protects the concept of innocent until proven guilty with how they changed a while back how we release mugshots. But they're not taking it really seriously. They're taking the idea of innocence until proven guilty seriously. They would make it that if their only evidence against a person in a court of law is the testimony of an officer, so it's him versus her, or he said, she said kind of scenario, then there should never be a conviction on it. Even though an officer may be a professional witness, I'm sorry, but the state cannot have more power in their witness testimony than any other person. And so if that's the case, it should be automatically assumed innocence and the case is dismissed if the only testimony is the testimony of a law enforcement officer, which isn't to say bad about law enforcement officers. In general, if it's even just a testimony of one other person, in our church, in our faith tradition, the Christian faith tradition, the truth is established by two or more witnesses.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, that's the thing. If it's only a he said, she said thing, it's only one person against one person, then it should just be dismissed immediately. It's like, sorry, there's not enough to go off of.
Yeah.
And flock cameras, last time I checked, they don't have power to testify because they're not people. AI isn't a person. And so if they find that someone's doing this stealing, that's great. They can do an investigation on it. But they cannot use anything from flock camera in a court of law. In my opinion, they cannot use it in a court of law.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit up that next tab.
Okay. So a little bit more of a serious note.
Yeah, you wanted to talk about this.
It's a concern. We have to be worried about it.
This group has been talked about a lot by other podcasters, so this is one that's been hammered into the ground. But you and I haven't talked about it on our show, so I guess we might as well follow the trend and just go with it, right?
And let's get your opinion on some of the stuff that they're promising people.
They're sociopathic imbeciles. That's what they are. That's my thoughts on it. They're sociopathic imbeciles. They don't understand human nature.
Yeah?
Yeah, scroll on down.
Okay.
So we can check out the things you highlighted and what you thought about it. So what do we got?
So...
That's small writing for me right here.
I know. So it's a talk about imagine taking a day off from work in a future without capitalism. You enjoy your work. It's interesting to you and you're well trained for it. You work as much as you are able and no more than needed. And you will control your own labor and see it going to good use. It's not just a job to pay the bills. You like your job. You enjoy it.
That's just a whole lot of rambling. It's like that phrase from what was that show? Where it's just like everything you said didn't even compile a coherent
It was
sentence.
Hermitcraft. It was on Impossible Minecraft, Hermitcraft. They're discussing, there was like blah, 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 blah. just went in and out.
It's a movie. Not Hermitcraft. What are you talking about?
The kids were watching Hermitcraft like
I don't care about them.
That's what it came to mind.
No, so there's a movie, I believe it involves that it's an Adam Sandler movie where it's just like nothing you said at any point like created coherent thought and everyone in this room is dumber for having listened to you.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact quote, but that's basically what that is. It's like it's not a coherent thought. There's no coherent concept there. Speaking of bills, you don't really have them anymore?
Yes. So
Okay, what do you mean by
you
that?
have no debt. You don't need health insurance. You don't pay a mortgage or have a landlord because comfortable housing is a human right until the money runs out and your house gets ruined. Your retirement is publicly funded. Social Security, we see how that's going.
Hold on. If they're saying that this is a cashless society effectively.
Yeah.
But then because I believe that's what they said lower in here.
Yeah.
And now it's just like your retirement is publicly funded. Why are you needing to fund it if there's no money? Kaylin, get out of there. She was about to walk on the drywall area.
Yeah, sorry our area is unfinished.
So-
We're working on it.
Can't have her falling through the ceiling into the sewing room. That would have been bad. Alright. Your retirement is publicly funded is incoherent in this entire conversation on this page because they're already saying it's supposed to be a cashless society because you just get everything you need and everything you want.
Yeah,
And it's like, are you imbeciles? Like, why are you saying publicly funded? Even they can't even escape the concept of funding things.
Yeah.
Monetarily. They can't
So-
even escape it because their brains can't wrap around their own ideas.
Food, education, energy, medicine, and transportation aren't for-profit businesses. They are common goods and utilities.
Okay.
So food's going to be available
Sure.
everywhere. And education. The professional students
Think-
can keep on going to get 5 PhDs.
Thank the Lord these people know how to defy the laws of physics and the laws of thermodynamics to be able to bring us the food we need with very little effort. Alright, what do you got here? These are all familiar everyday activities. A socialist day off could be like any good day now. But what if you were free to spend your time how you like without worrying about costs or dreading going back to work? I mean, I could do that. We could just ditch everything and go live in the mountains.
Yeah.
I have everything we need to be able to survive out there.
My opinion of this is a socialist day off could be like any good day now. It's not going to happen. You know, our capitalist things like Starbucks will be gone. Dutch Bros will be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Your Fizz will be gone eventually
Yep.
because we won't have the stuff available. So
What if you didn't have to think about paying rent or loans at the end of the month, or saving for college, or affording groceries?
it's just going to be given to you no matter what. And
That's the thing, is like they're talking about a cashless society.
yeah.
That's what they're trying to talk about. But then they even talked about your retirement being publicly funded. It's like, yo, you can't even escape it. Why? Because money isn't really a commodity, it's a means of exchange.
Yeah.
It's all it is there is to represent value for the purpose of you being to exchange goods in a universal fashion.
Yep.
If we get rid of money, you're doing the exact same thing anyways, but without cash, which actually makes everything more difficult because there's no universal medium now.
Yeah. That's true. So, next part, we're going to skip over the blue. It just gives a little information there. But the political system under which we live is built on private ownership and profit at all costs. As capitalism fails to solve problems of its own making, it turns to right-wing authoritarianism.
Which is incoherent.
So, I have a definition here for authoritarianism from Google. It is a form of government characterized by concentrated central power, the suppression of opposition, and the loss of individual freedoms. Power typically rests with a single leader or a small ruling group rather than the citizens, which will be our Congress.
Well, and that's the thing is but these are the same people who say the right wing are fascists when they're really not. Because the thing is, the fascists of Europe, they were the right wing of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
In our model in America, they're not. They're the authoritarian side, more towards the left wing, typically, because they are socialist in nature.
Yeah.
But the right wing authoritarians have always historically been kings. That's typically how it's been. It's been kings through bloodlines. And it's not, honestly, kingships have not actually been terrible systems. Because the way a lot of monarchies worked is it required the loyalty of lords underneath them.
Yep, it did.
And they generally had to keep those lords happy, and those lords had interests in their own lands that they had beneath the kingship.
Yep, such as one of the kings, his lords were not happy, and so the Magna Carta came about.
Well, yeah, that was Prince John, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, that was one of the issues, was that's why the Magna Carta was created in England, was because of a lot of the problems that the king, or at least the ruler at the time, was causing. So the Magna Carta was created. Because that's the thing, is you need the loyalty of your lords down beneath. That's how a lot of monarchies have always worked. It's never been a single solitary leader. It's been one leader who's the representative effectively as the kingdom. He is the sovereign effectively. But he ultimately is at the mercy of the lords beneath him. Because if he can't keep their loyalty, they can relatively easily usurp the king when they band together. And they're a small group.
Yeah.
And if you're a small group, you're actually very easily able to usurp these monarchs.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can find a lot of agreement amongst yourselves. When you have large mass groups, it's hard to create a coherent movement against a single leader.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's really hard to get a mass amount of people to agree on even just a few things. Mm-hmm. It's like the more people we would have had in the Continental Congress, the longer and less likely it would have. The longer it would have taken, and the less likely it would have been successful for the Declaration of Independence to even be written, let alone actually ratified.
Yep. That's true.
So
the next part, if we lived in a cashless society and governed ourselves, we could freely build a world without war or poverty. We could build a world where no one suffers for their race, gender, or religion, and everyone is free, equal, and cared for.
And, sorry, the reason why I say kings were typically more the right-wing monarchs in our American-style system is because they held strongly to traditional values, which many fascists, although did, fascists used used a mercantile, well, not all of them. Mussolini used a socialist system. Adolf Hitler used a mercantilist system in economics. And because really mercantilism was almost a hybrid between socialist economics and capitalist economics.
Yeah.
And for the most part, most monarchies have been a mercantilist system, as far as I understand it. And that's because mercantilism, it allows for the private development, for private expansion and private profit at your own risk taking, but you had to find you were effectively required to find some way to benefit the crown. Now sometimes just benefiting the crown was actually paying taxes, so
Yeah.
it relatively came down to to mostly a free market system, just without the private ownership of land. You almost always had to lease your land from the lord,
Yep.
but typically though it was private economic development. All right, sorry, continue that. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
So, building this world is the guiding star of our movement. When we labor for our common good instead of private profit, we can all have a secure and dignified life and use our time and talents how we wish. So, I brought that up because I have some other definitions here. Socialism. It is a political and economic system defined by collective, public, or worker ownership of the means of production, aiming for a fair spread of wealth and meeting the basic needs of all people.
Fair.
And there are the three different types of socialism here. Democratic socialism, freedom to pick careers based on personal interest backed by social safety nets. So, right there, use our time and talents how we wish. You could just be like, a lot of people choose never to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
We already have
If
that
anything,
happening.
democratic socialism is the least coherent of
Yeah.
any of them.
So the next one, centrally planned models. State assignment or labor balancing based on societal needs. They tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm. And at least that's a more coherent model, just because it's like there are going to be jobs that people don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Typically no one wants to work in sanitary sewer.
Yeah.
No one typically wants to work it. The reason why people are willing to work it is typically it pays pretty well. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, fair spread of wealth, everyone would be getting the same pay, so there's no benefit to go and work in sanitary sewer over going and working in another job field.
I believe
so.
somewhere
The
else.
guarantee with democratic socialism is it will either collapse or they will be forced to eventually force people into certain jobs they don't want to do.
Yep, and that's
It's
issue.
the nature of it.
They're gonna in this whole entire thing. They're also mentioning about doing free school. You're gonna have the professional students getting 5 PhDs to avoid getting a job.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna keep doing that, and people are not gonna want to do certain jobs. They're gonna have to force them to do it, so it's not gonna exactly work.
Yeah.
Then cooperative socialism, workers collectively vote and self-managed tasks inside democratic workplaces.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. And this is their plan. We are workers fighting to transform society, to win the battle for democracy, draft a new constitution, and create a democratic socialist republic. What do you think about that kind of title?
Want me to jump in for a sec?
Who?
Logan.
Oh.
But I don't know if we can easily. Do you know if I still have that whole Discord set up on there for...
I don't know if you do.
Oh, I do, but I'd have to hook up to the phone.
Yeah. So, while you think about it just for a minute, another couple of things, definitions I got.
Well, I can't hook up through the phone. I have to hook up through the computer, but I have to make sure I am disconnected from my phone. Go ahead, what?
Okay. So another definition I have here is while both systems reject pure capitalism and seek economic equality, socialism and communism differ primarily in their property ownership, governance, and how goods are distributed. In short, socialism is a transitional economy, which we discussed. It leads to communism, an economic system where production is publicly owned, whereas communism is the final stateless and classless goal where everything is shared equally.
Yeah.
And we've seen communism. It doesn't go very well. The certain people stay in power and everyone else suffers. Right?
Mm-hmm. No, seriously.
So, here's what they're fighting for. Freedom to flourish. You choose what you want to do. Health care for everyone.
Yeah.
Housing for all. Finish Reconstruction.
What does that even mean?
You can click on it, it goes to it. Gives you more information there. So we
Okay.
can see it in a second. But end mass incarceration and public immunity and police immunity. Mass incarceration. We have so many murderers that be on the streets then.
Here's the problem with the whole police immunity thing is qualified immunity exists for a reason. One, because if they're acting on behalf of the state and then they are doing it the right way, it is not them that should be responsible, it should be the state that's responsible.
Yeah.
But there is a process where a judge can strip the qualified immunity for police officers if that police officer does in fact violate the law or violate those persons' rights.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is that's not really an issue, I would say. Go ahead. Are you just on display?
Yeah, I'm going to be on display. So, we're going to look at these ideas. The freedom to flourish. Establish paid family leave for all workers, a 32-hour work week, and full pay and benefits and a living minimum wage. Provide free, quality public education from pre-K to college and cancel all student debt. I looked at the student debt. We have a lot.
Yeah, we do.
It is a ton. I think it's estimated around... Let me look at the number. I had it. It was... Well, how much was it?
1 second.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm almost there that I could actually get Logan in on this if he wants to hop in.
Yeah? You're trying to get him in so he can join us for the night?
Pretty much.
Did you figure it out?
Well, I need to just double check the audio.
Yeah?
So...
Sorry, guys. Just give us a second. Kyle's over here helping me on the computer.
show my camera, voice and video settings, speaker, microphone, good. Logan, if you're watching, go to the show prep on Discord and you should be able to join the call on the calls channel there. That should do it. If he wants to hop in, then I'll be able to hear him and everyone else will be able to hear him when he hops in.
So I found it. Sorry, guys, for the delay. Approximately 17% of all U.S. adults, roughly 1 in 6 people, or about 43 million Americans, currently carry active student loan debt. An additional 13% of adults have previously borrowed but fully paid off their educational debt.
Dude, that's just asinine.
There we go. I just got Logan in my headset. Can you hear me, Logan?
Some of these people owe
I can hear you. I can't see you.
$200,000.
This was a whole problem with John last week. For some reason, I cannot get the freaking cameras at all. But everyone else should be able to hear you on the show too, because it's pulling the audio straight from my headset.
Alrighty then. Well, hello everybody.
On the
I know, we
feed.
finally got Logan back in. Are you seeing him on your camera, babe?
I don't have my camera on.
Oh, okay. He doesn't have his camera on. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
The only
fine.
person here who can't hear you is Christy.
Yeah, so I'm going to be kind of just guesstimating.
I know. Do you like our guest, though, Logan? Filling your chair?
I want to know freaking Pikachu.
Yeah, Logachu. It's not...
What the hell?
Yeah, that's Logachu.
What the hell?
Oh, you should have seen the other week.
I heard it was a unicorn of some kind.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a unicorn. It was a rainbow bear. It was pretty gay looking.
Ah, that's what it was.
It's your child.
I don't know if this is an upgrade or not because Pikachu, as representing you, is just naked, no hair, but is fully covered with fur, as compared to that bear had a.
All right, hold on. Are you on the monitor?
on the monitor?
I got nothing. I turned my video on for a second. I got nothing, guys. Freaking bald as shit. So it's not a bad representation.
Oh, the Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah, my camera won't be working at all, sadly.
Alright. Alright, that's fair. Alright. So we're talking about communism, right? The damn bastards.
Yeah, it's the Democratic Socialists of America, this party.
The party that's not even supposed to be a thing legally here in the United States. That party?
I guess technically it can, because they call themselves socialists, not communists, because they're named in the law
It's
as
the same
communists.
damn thing.
It is. I mean, even that was the thing with the whole Engels versus Marx. Marx wanted revolution, versus Engels realized that it doesn't always work so well that way. And so with Engels, he's like, well, if we can evolve a society into socialism, from socialism into communism, so just vote our ways into it. It's just really a different approach for the same government.
Yes. I haven't really met that many people.
Right. So fill me in. Where was you at? Sorry I interrupted. Thought I'd
you're
jump in
good.
for a minute.
So, yeah, Chris was just reading this part here. Expand public resources to support recreation, learning, and social spaces accessible to all. Establish paid family leave. This is the thing. They keep talking about a cashless society. Paid family leave. Why are they this? They themselves are too dumb to get out of the framework
Hold on.
framework of
Make that make sense. A cashless society, but paid time off.
Well, that's the whole concept of a communist socialist structure is a cashless society, because you get everything you need and then you provide the labor that you're capable of. And it
Yeah, but
even
no, the
talks
vocabulary is freaking stupid.
I know, but it even talks about in their stuff here about a cashless society, and it's just like, and then earlier it's like your retirement will be publicly funded. It's like, wait a moment, right there, you like to say cashless society, but even you are using the word funded. It's not. It doesn't need. If it's cashless, it shouldn't be funded. It should just be that you can retire, or like this, paid leave. It's like, I'm sorry, what? Oh, they're too dumb to even escape the framework of a monetary system that they themselves are trying to escape.
Yeah, freaking.
It's like their own website is a
It's a
case
sham.
study.
Their
It's
whole-
a case study
whole-
as to why they're idiots.
They're gonna try to get it to pass
Yeah,
with no
It's-
clue what to do.
pretty much.
No, you know what it is? It's a case study of two brain cells rubbing together for third place.
It's a case study of two brain cells rubbing together for third place. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Chris, you
Freaking-
like that one. Go ahead and scroll down, babe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does everyone know? Does everyone know where I'm at right now?
No.
Oh, jeez. So without getting into it, there are some freaking assholes
So
and
this
dumb,
part is weird.
stupid shits around here that believe that wholeheartedly.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Never wasted your time.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, right? It's
Yeah.
just the thing is, I won't deny, like, if you don't dig deeper than the surface level itself, it's a very seductive idea.
It's an intriguing proposition
Yeah,
without doing any study into it.
exactly. When you don't study into it and you don't even try to scratch the surface or even ask any questions on it, it is an intriguing idea, and it can be very seductive to those people who think that they have a lot to gain from it. And typically those are the people who have a lot to gain from it are the people who have the least to give. And so it's just it's a seductive idea for those people.
So-
But the problem though is it doesn't work. And any system that's a good system should be able to theoretically to survive on an independent notion. It should be capable of being isolated and functioning on its own. And you can even
It should
see
be able
it.
to isolate. It should be able to isolate itself and barter against itself.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you can even look at it in nature. People have created these little domes of these ecosystems that are completely sealed in glass, and it's a fully functional ecosystem inside there because it has everything it needs and everything it will need. It puts out on its own, and then it consumes that itself again. It's like
So
these,
in a perfect world, yes, it would work. But man is corrupt by nature, and it's never going to work.
oh yeah, exactly.
It's just going to turn into a dictatorship and
that
become
goes-
Soviet Union all over again.
Well, that goes back into the history of the church with the law of consecration. It's like the law of consecration will work. The problem, though, is it doesn't require, the law of consecration doesn't require you to consecrate all of your goods. It requires you to consecrate your entire
excess.
soul and being to the idea. It's not just, these goods that you need to give into it. It's that your heart and your might and your mind need to be into it. And that's why it will never work on earth, at least before the Savior returns, mostly because none of us are capable of fully doing that. And anyone who has been able to do it has probably already been translated and taken off the earth.
So, yeah, it will never work here because of how corrupt man is.
Absolutely. All right, Ray, let's go. Do you want to just hit up the next tab, or?
Okay, I was just going to cover some last couple things on this
Yeah,
side.
well, go ahead. Go ahead and
I just can't
pull
hear,
up the.
so I'm waiting for cues from you.
No, you're good. Go
So-
ahead. We might be able to get your headset hooked up as well, so you can hear Logan in the future.
So, Housing for
That-
All, they want to build new, publicly owned social housing, strictly regulate investment properties. You're supposed to not have any private property.
That's
The government will be the investors of the property.
see, this is where it gets to the whole incoherent nature of their argument.
And here is the finished reconstruction.
Investment properties shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
If under this system.
They want to end the legacies of slavery and colonialism. And the main part of that is
Back in
enact
1863.
reparations.
Yeah.
Going to cost a lot of money. And massively invest in good jobs, quality housing, and infrastructure in neglected minority communities.
So
And
That
if
was done by
they,
the Reagan in the 80s.
so my question is, go back up, babe. If they want to end the legacies of slavery and colonization, and we know they like to push their ideas across the globe, does this mean they'll end the legacy of the colonization of India? And if
Those
does
who
that
erase
mean?
and forget their history will doomed to repeat it.
Well, I mean, if they do, does that mean they will be bringing back the burning widows alive thing? Like, was everything
know what?
about
No.
colonization bad? Was everything about colonization bad?
Are they going to stop?
You know
What
what?
is the definition of colonism?
Does this mean they're going to reinstitute child sacrifice in Central and South America?
No, I'm saying bring back the witch
Do you
trial.
want to hear the definition of
Oh,
colonialism?
Logan's saying we should bring back the witch trials.
So do you want to hear the
Like-
definition?
Hold on, babe. What's up, Logan?
No, I'm just sitting here being like, if we want to end colonialism and slavery, well, like, if you want to end that, we may as well just bring back everything that's been before it.
Yeah.
Those
Well,
who
I
forget
mean-
their history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, and well, I mean, realistically, if you are doing that, you would be going back to the old systems before. If you want to erase any trace of colonialism, that means you want to erase every bit of American history and go back to what existed before American history.
I mean, we're
It's
sitting at
all-
250 years.
Yeah, this
Right.
250 years of American colonialism experiment on this land.
I feel bad. No, I'm pretty disappointed in myself and kind of sad about it. I missed the 4th of July. Right?
Yeah.
I was like,
You're missing the
I guess.
24th of July right now. I'm hearing the fireworks outside. More people are lighting them off right now.
Yeah, they ain't got that here in Texas. I'll spill the beans. I'm here at 68 Whiskey School in
Yeah.
the U.S. Army. I got here on the 2nd, and it was like a whole bunch of intake and everything. We wasn't allowed to celebrate, so I was pretty disappointed.
Oh, that sucks.
What? Oh, you stop giving me shit.
Luckily for
Why you
me,
want to-
when I went to Fort Lee, Virginia for 92 Alpha School there for automated logistics, the intake was done relatively quickly, and then the 4th of July was just a little bit after the intake. We didn't get to go and celebrate, but they didn't stop us from staying out late and seeing the fireworks out in the distance either, and from other people who were lighting them off on base.
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
wasn't allowed
we
to do
still
that.
we still saw them just because we were out late enough before that, because our curfew wasn't nearly as strict as it was in basic.
Yeah. So,
Well, I guess next
Yeah.
year you'll at least get to celebrate the 251st.
maybe. We'll see what happens. I might
Yeah.
be, no, I won't be deployed, but I might be at another school.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or-
Who knows, right?
We
All
haven't-
right.
We haven't opened up that jar of worms yet, have we?
I don't know.
That might be something we want to wait for.
Okay, that's fine. So, what was else? What else was it, baby?
So
you want to talk about?
colonialism, right here. So
Yeah.
you want to get rid of colonialism.
Yeah.
Colonialism is the control by one powerful country over another area, land, or group of people. It happens when a nation takes over
Yeah, well.
another territory to use its resources, make money,
Wait, I
and
actually made
force
a-
its
I
own
actually
culture
made a
and
video
laws
on
on the
that.
local people.
Yeah.
What's happening here in the United
That's
States
just
right
a
now?
Russia
definition.
to
That's
Ukraine.
just a definition of colonialism.
Are they going to stop them from spreading here?
Well, technically, I guess by that definition, we're not colonists anymore because we are the people of this land, versus beforehand it was Britain exercising power over us. Either way, though, you have to remember, I give these people very little energy from my brain.
I'm talking about Islam spreading.
Oh, well, there you go. Islam
are they gonna
is
stop them?
technically colonizing
Are they going to
us.
stop them, or are they going to let them go free reign all over this country?
Might
Yeah.
used to be that.
That's a question right here.
Yeah.
So we were discussing mass incarceration, feminism,
How are you going to do that
And
without a paid police
pass
force?
a federal
Yeah.
jobs guarantee. What is that?
What's a federal job
Implement
without a
massive
federal
investment
currency?
in sustainable
Yeah,
publicly
pass
owned
a
energy.
federal jobs guarantee, implement massive investment in sustainable policy,
Publicly.
sustainable publicly owned energy and transit
Can I just, like, make, like,
infrastructure.
bullshit?
And phase out fossil
Like, I can
fuels.
make a lot of just like
Oh, that's
Green
bullshit.
energy doesn't
That'll
work.
never
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, phase out fossil fuels. That's a brilliant idea. Let's just go ahead and kill every single person in all the hospitals right now because we can't produce the energy needed.
And this is the last thing I wanted to talk in this article
What?
is
no,
recognize the
it's-
rights of the
No, I don't
Palestinian
think
people,
it's-
including the right of return, the right to resist
Oh, fuck.
military occupation, and the right to self-determination in a free Palestine and Jerusalem at its capital.
Yeah. Basically, they want to eradicate the Jews.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what we always knew. That's what they love doing. I mean,
Man,
never.
Germany must have like conquered the world or something. I swear, everyone who thinks like this has German mentality.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Adolf Hitler
I was
did
expecting
actually
to be
partner. I think it was Ottoman Empire. No, it wasn't the Ottoman Empire. That was World War One.
So he
No, I
partnered
do-
with. He partnered with Italy. He partnered with Japan. He partnered
Yeah.
with Mexico. Ironically, Brazil, freaking Argentina.
Yeah, that was a
Pretty
big
much
one.
all of South America.
I know
was a part of
him in the
Axis
Middle
power.
East. He never had any beef
Yeah.
with the Middle East, but it's all because they just all hated the Jews together. So it was really more like it wasn't really
An
an official
alliance
alliance.
without
It wasn't an alliance. It was a passion project.
It was just one of those like, I'm going to look over here while you guys go do your thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh man! All right, let's hit up that next tab.
Yep. And ICE detention and deportations. That was the last thing on that one.
Oh yeah.
That's not
In
gonna
other
be
words,
good.
we don't have borders.
Nope. And
Hold
anyone
on.
can come here
How-
and take from our system.
Yeah, it's a lot of talking.
How are you going to pay your police force to do that shit?
Well, I mean, theoretically, if it's a cashless society, you wouldn't need to pay your police force because that would be the job they desire to do.
Yeah, I'm not going to get you to right at the moment.
But they forget that a lot of these jobs, it's not that people want to do these jobs, it's that the jobs are, one, available, and two, they pay enough to make them interesting. I mentioned it earlier as the sanitary sewer. No one really
right
wants to
down my
work.
alley.
Yeah, no one really wants to work sanitary sewer. But
No.
it
Hell
pays
no.
pretty well. So it's
Do you
like,
think anyone wants to grow up to be a plumber?
no. People typically don't want to grow up to do those things, but then they see the opportunity of how much those things can pay, and they're like, well, I guess my discomfort is really not worth that much. I could go and get paid that.
Do you think I grew up being happy that I was a son of a shit shaker?
No.
Or a grandson of a shit shaker? Like,
Yeah.
they don't want to do that stuff, but they do it anyways because it provides for a family. Do you think
Yeah.
I want to be here right now? No, because I'm doing it because, one, it's my obligation to the country, but it's also helping me with my family.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
that's just the name of the trade.
Yeah.
Like, people don't do shit without the motivation to provide for something they love.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
So.
if you make it a cashless society, that motivation then dwindles into mafia rules that can provide for their loved ones.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not going to end up pretty if they get their way with it, and I doubt they will. I'm
It
pretty sure the
never.
American people are going to finally grow a backbone and stand up for themselves.
It never ends pretty for it. It never has ended pretty for it. It's always been a disaster. Yeah.
Next
All right.
article before I have an aneurysm.
Yeah, well, we got this next tab that probably will give you an aneurysm.
Yeah, what's the subject?
Thousands of non-citizens registered to vote in New Jersey due to software error, governor says.
Sure,
Yep.
sure it was a software error.
So the
100%.
company
Let's
that
blame the
manages
technology.
it. So the company that manages it, I believe, is saying that it's still up to the department, the government's department, to verify whether or not they're citizens or not. The problem, though, the DMV. The problem, though, is the DMV in their state of New Jersey is apparently not allowed to look up the citizenship of
Well, wasn't New
people
Jersey
that
the
they're
one that
giving
was
these
having-
licenses to. So these
Wasn't
people.
New Jersey the one that was having issues with licenses months back?
I think New Jersey was having the issues with the frickin' Indians who were getting CDLs. That was one of them.
Yeah, there was the CDLs, there was the false
Yeah, so
there
these-
was false driver's licenses, there was...
So what it is these people who are non-citizens were going and getting licenses because this is one of those states that will go and give licenses to everybody.
And they were automatically getting enrolled.
Yeah, and so then those records get sent over to the DMV
No, to the
or from the
elections. Department
to
of
the
Elections.
Elections Commission, but then it's the Elections Commission whose responsibility is to actually go and verify this information according to the company, but then they're not allowed to actually look up the citizenship records of them. So they're getting registered to vote. And in some of these cases, I believe they're actually writing, no, I'm not a citizen. And they're still being registered to vote. Is that this one or is that the other tab, babe? It's
The individuals, the 6,600
Oh, the
individuals
lava
marked
one.
themselves as non-citizens when they applied, but were added to the voter rolls anyway.
yeah. So they even said, no, I'm not eligible. I'm not a U.S. citizen. And then they were still added to the voter rolls anyways. And
Wow.
it's just like, it's funny because these people were going on like, there's no voter fraud. And it's like, these people technically may not be committing fraud by intent, but
Yeah,
when
that's-
your system
that's
is
what it was.
effectively designed to register them to vote anyways, technically you could say the government itself is committing to voter fraud at that point.
Yeah. But
Well, what point does
400
the Department
roughly
of Homeland
did cast
Security
ballots.
come in and get that fixed?
I don't know. Well, that's the thing is, we got that whole mixed bag with the National Defense Authorization Act that was passed. So more funding for the military, which is great.
So I've been in the dark for the last, what's it been, 3 months?
Yeah.
How
So
have I been doing?
recently, the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, has been reauthorized. Well, kind of. That has been passed by the House, and now it's going to the Senate. This is just more military funding as usual, the normal package, and as usual, it has ear notes attached to it. There's a controversial part that a lot of people are upset about with the joint nature of Israeli military being integrated with U.S. military in some aspects. I haven't really looked into the details on it yet, so I don't know exactly what it is. I know there's a lot of people who aren't happy with it. But they did get the SAVE Act attached to it. And so the SAVE Act was passed with the NDAA, which will require proof of citizenship for voting on federal elections.
You're definitely gonna have like 2 days.
Good.
So that's good, but we'll see what else was passed with it. It's like any other frickin' funding bill. It's like they have the main subject, but then there's a million other things attached to it that are all frickin' little Easter eggs for all the various different states or departments that they want.
You're a part and off.
Yeah, let's get that act passed. Like,
Yeah.
now. That way the DFAC can get better.
All right, so that's pretty much this article. That's what that's all about. Let's hit up that next tab. It's some more voter fraud issue going on. So we got that voter fraud going on, and we got this voter fraud. Kind of. Is it voter fraud or not? I don't know, but it is serious concerns in how the election is actually even being conducted.
well, this isn't
This
the
is New
election.
Jersey,
It's a person that the governor put into a position. I believe it's the lady with glasses and colored hair.
That's very descriptive. There's a lot of people that fit that description. All right, scroll down.
I've seen pictures of her.
What was this one? I remember seeing this guy. This was another issue in what state is this?
This one is in Illinois.
Illinois.
So the issue with this one is supposedly the governor put someone into a higher position, and they sent voter registration materials to non-citizens applying for state assistance.
Yeah.
And they were
I used to be like that.
pre-addressed to go back to the local county clerks. And these non-citizens should not be getting these materials.
Yeah.
The person just sent
Whether or
them to them.
not they were sent back isn't really the issue as much as why were they sent in the first place.
Yep.
So voter registration materials are being sent out to these people who aren't citizens just because they're applying for state assistance for whatever reason they need state assistance for.
And
Well,
this is
hold
the
on.
one that was of concern.
Hold on, babe. What was that, Logan?
Why are, like, these said illegals were applying for state assistance?
Well, yeah, they would be legal residents if they're able to apply. If they're able to apply for.
Why are my tax dollars going to residents?
Well, I guess
I'm
to
not
be
a citizen.
fair, there are some states that are giving assistance to even illegal immigrants as well. So it all depends on the state. It's a
Yeah.
liberal state, so
Are
it
you
could be
going
either
to?
way. But yeah, no, why are our tax dollars going to people who aren't even citizens? Absolutely. That's a great point.
There's friggin' veterans on the street. There's Beaver, from what I understand, is a mud hole.
Yeah.
That the Long family almost got $100. You heard about that?
What was this again?
So that family that got killed down the Beaver.
Okay. The family
I
who killed
believe
down in Beaver.
I believe that was a Long family.
Why are we just putting random tests down here?
They were from Mona. My mom, like some of those kids that were killed were in my mom's school.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's friggin'
the state's on fire. Where's that relief for everyone who lost homes and property? Like,
Yeah.
no,
I mean,
we
that's
didn't do
really,
that.
if our tax dollars are going to go to anything, it should be going to the people who've been losing their homes with all the fires, and then next year it'll be all the floods that people will be losing their homes over because, and all the landslides because the fires destroyed all the plants that are holding the soil up.
Mm-hmm. Like, where's the relief for that? Where's the relief for the hell knows?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh,
The
they'll
three
just say
tornadoes.
they'll just
Where's
say
the
those.
relief for the three
Yeah.
tornadoes I've been?
Yeah. Yeah, they'll just say, "Oh, those people should have had insurance, so they should be fine." That's what they'll say.
Insurance is freaking.
Yeah, I would agree. Insurance in general is a scam. All right, let's hit up that next tab. Is it
Yeah.
another voter one or no? I can't
No.
remember.
Did you want me to finish this last two things I had to say on it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So, right here, the last two things this is Carol Davis. He says, he points out that both the U.S. Constitution and the Illinois State Constitution restricts voting to U.S. citizens in both federal and state elections, so it's not allowed at all. But Representative Niemer also pointed to another issue he believes deserves scrutiny. Local election officials face limitations in independently verifying immigration status. During his remarks, he stated the county clerks by statute can't check immigration status. I wonder how many illegals we have on the voter rolls today.
Yeah.
They can't check it. They just
This
have
is
to
the
go
one
through it.
This is the one where I wasn't sure that I was thinking of earlier, where the county clerk, who's supposed to be able to deal with their freaking registrations themselves, are not allowed to check citizenship status
And
or
both-
legal status.
And both constitutions say none.
What was it?
Yeah.
Actually, bro,
Mhm.
honestly, what happened is fucking information.
Yeah, That's absolutely absurd.
Are you checking what? Did you see sites talk to the Joe Rogan yesterday? Information. Sorry, I zoned out there for a second. Maybe it's in the. Wait, you did?
No, you're good. All right, let's get to this next one. This one is kind of hearsay, because one, it's not even a verified account.
Mhm.
It's just information, and I didn't have any articles on it. An engineer who designed election altering. Oh, yeah, this. So an engineer who designed election altering software says that the 2020 presidential vote in Colorado was manipulated by shaving votes in strong Republican counties, including a 10% cut in Douglas County. I don't know whether or not that's accurate, but I do know that a software engineer who helped create these voting machines actually testified before Congress way back. This, I think it was it may have been Elizabeth Warren at the time, or maybe it was just barely when frickin' Kamala Harris had entered the Congress. I can't remember when, but they were having this whole testimony about how these election machines, we could actually rig the vote and no one would even be able to know the difference if they wanted to.
Here are the examples on this.
And Democrats were having a heyday with that in congressional hearings back in the day, and now all of a sudden they hide that it's even a thing.
So, this is the stuff.
Yeah, that's all the stuff. That's all the information there. Whether or not it's accurate or not, take it with a grain of salt. Do some research on it.
But there is a book. They put out a book.
They have a book.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I'll see if I can find the
I don't know how
name.
viable that is. Anyone can write a book anymore.
I know, right? Anyone can just write a book, and
There
they
it
can even
is.
have AI write a book for them.
There's the book.
Exactly.
Yeah, his book is called "Stolen Elections: The Takedown of Democracies Worldwide."
And he worked with former CIA officer.
Yeah. I do know that
Okay.
this was actually a topic in congressional hearings back a long time ago. Not long after they started implementing these voting machines. All right, what's
It's
that
been-
next tab?
It's been
Native
what,
Americans
20
are
years since they
showing up
implemented
are-
those?
Are missing.
Sorry, hold on, babe. What was that, Logan?
It's been what, 20 years since they implemented those voting machines?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it's been since around the Bush administration ish.
Pretty much. It's weird to think that was about 20 freaking years ago, the Bush administration.
Junior, sorry.
Well, yeah, junior, obviously not senior. Ugh. All
We're
right,
coming up to
so
20 years since Obama was elected.
oh my gosh, that's weird. Almost 20
Why
years
is it
now since
happening?
Obama was elected. Man, that makes me feel old as hell.
Baby start.
You really want to feel old?
No,
I'll make you feel old real quick.
what? You're 27.
No. There are recruits here that were born in 2007.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
No.
Up to-
No. 6 or 8.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I imagine they can enlist at 18, so technically 2008
8.
would be the youngest they could be.
Yeah, I'd only say.
Unless they receive legal emancipation from their parents, so they could enlist at 17.
2008. We did have one in basic that was in 2009.
Yeah. Alright, so next article here. This is getting pretty sad.
More fraud.
Yeah, this is fraud, but of a different kind. This is Medicaid fraud. Up to 2,000 Native Americans dead or missing in Medicaid fraud scheme, from an attorney. Scroll on down.
Human trafficking.
So a Native
What's good for
American,
you? What's good for me is bad for you.
yeah. So a Native American woman who checked into a sober living home to get clean is now the lead plaintiff in a class action lawsuit accusing the state of Arizona for enabling Medicaid fraud, a Medicaid fraud scheme. That attorney says, that attorneys say has harmed as many as 7,000 Native Americans and left possibly 2,000 dead or missing. Randy Lynn, I don't know, pronounce that last name, was staying at a facility in Phoenix's gated Western Enclave community, one of roughly 20 licensed group homes packing into a single neighborhood. So a whole single neighborhood, freaking 20 group homes in it. On Christmas Eve in 2022, while detoxing from an alcohol binge, a staff member gave her a pill to help her feel better, quote unquote, but it was fentanyl. She said she didn't feel good. The house manager walks up, says, "Take this." She takes the pill. It's fentanyl, John Brewer said, one of the attorneys representing her. She goes into cardiac arrest, lack of oxygen to the brain. The lawsuit says she suffered a traumatic brain injury that left her unable to walk or swallow. She requires a feeding tube and 24-hour care for the rest of her life. Under Arizona's American Indian Health Program, registered providers can bill Medicaid directly for addiction and behavioral health services delivered to eligible Native American patients. Attorneys John Brewer and Dane Wood told News Nation Jesse Weber Live that fraudsters exploited the system by recruiting people from tribal communities in Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Montana, and the Dakotas, funneling them into fake sober living homes that billed Medicaid for treatment, rarely if ever given. So honestly, I don't know what's worse, the frickin' Somali fraud over there in Minnesota or frickin' this stuff, because this is actually getting people killed versus the Somali fraud is just funneling money into their pockets.
Yeah, this said that the people originally only had an alcohol addiction, and they gave them either methamphetamine or fentanyl to keep them there, so the money would just keep flowing.
Oh my gosh.
And they would take people from the Navajo Nation.
I do believe some of the charges, though, Logan, against these guys is human trafficking.
It wouldn't surprise me any. But I do have to criticize that article. Keep in mind that
Go ahead.
Right? He would have been in cardiac pulmonary distress or
say that again.
Or heart. She would have been in pulmonary cardiac arrest
Yeah.
with both her lungs and her heart giving out.
Yeah.
The way that they're saying.
Yeah.
So
they just got the medical condition partly wrong.
yeah, if you're gonna write an article, get your shit right.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, it happens. Even journalists make mistakes.
No, journalists are a mistake.
All right. Some victims arrived with only an alcohol addiction and left addicted to methamphetamine or fentanyl because keeping people dependent kept the billing flowing.
And they're getting people, recruiters, allegedly approached people at gas stations, grocery stores, and bus stops. And they took them from remote areas of the Navajo Nation to Phoenix.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're definitely getting human trafficking charges. I think it said something about this when we were
100%
reviewing
human
it.
trafficking charges.
Because,
100%.
that right there itself probably is what qualifies it.
Well, you got kidnapping, human trafficking. You've got introduction of foreign substances. You've got there's so much shit that can be pinned to them.
Yeah.
Like
Do you see that blood alcohol level there on the screen there in purple? Would describe the one victim found with a blood alcohol level of 0.543.
Yeah, that tracks.
More alcohol than blood is what it's saying, but it's just who he said was dumped on the street outside a sober living home.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, my gosh. Yeah, this article when we were going through, I still skipped over spots. I just went through spots, and you found even more in this. They've got a lot of info in this article, so they did do a decent job. So by 2020, unlawful payments tied to the scheme totaled about $43 million, according to the complaint. Despite the 2022 warning memo, the state took no immediate action. The lawsuit alleges the fraudulent payments ultimately ballooned to roughly $2.8 billion by 2023.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's keep Medicaid and Medicare. They do such great things for our society.
No, yeah, there's serious problems with Medicaid and Medicare. Like, the ideas are good. The idea is good, but this is a great example of where it's gone wrong.
In all honesty, so like Medicare and Medicaid are probably the closest thing that we have to communism here in the United States.
And this is what it produces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it's unregulated. It's practically unregulated money, and people are going to take advantage of that all day long.
That's the thing. It's like with our school system for colleges. It's like the government took over the funding with the federal student loan program, and ever since then, tuition costs have just skyrocketed. And it's like the idea is a good idea, but the actual outcome, though,
for a single generation.
Yeah.
It is a good idea for a single generation.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the issue we've been having lately. Like, over the last 100 years, I dare say.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Great Depression started, in 29? So we're coming up on 100 years.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of good for a single generation, with the repercussions being felt by generations after.
Yeah. Yeah, it's helping out one generation because that generation was using it properly, but now, after the fact, there's so many people are taking advantage of it and abusing it now that it's going to bankrupt our country entirely.
Well, it's not even the fact that they were using it properly; it's that it was a thing at all.
Yeah.
Right. FDR was probably probably the shittiest president we've ever had because of the stuff he introduced. With that,
well, that's the thing.
In regards to that,
there used to be a stigma against getting food stamps, against using welfare. Like, it was socially a bad thing to be on the government teat. And now it's like, if you're not on it, you're doing something wrong. Like, why aren't you on it? I think you had a problem with that once, right, Christy? And someone was surprised that you weren't getting any benefit. We weren't getting any benefits from the government.
No, Sarah was talking to me about it. Someone that I know.
No, but then I just
She was talking about getting off of it, and they're telling her why.
Oh,
This is great.
Sarah was talking about trying to get off the government benefits, and so she's actually using it when she needs it and trying to get off of it.
Yeah, not
And
very
then
many,
someone
just a
else
little
that she knows was just like, "Why would you try to get off of it?
bit. No, they're
That's
the people in
absurd."
the office telling her.
Oh, the people in the office were surprised that she would want to try and get off it. Heaven forbid her and John try to improve their life. Heaven forbid they try to.
Let's not like start throwing names out with people we know.
Oh yeah. Well, that thing is like they work hard. They strive the best they can, and it's like heaven forbid they try to do their best.
Or you take my neighbor growing up,
Oh yeah.
or my neighbors. Mom had 4 baby daddies.
Oh gosh.
I think she just had kid number 14.
Holy shit! Kid 14 with 4 baby daddies.
Well, just the one now.
Yeah, but I mean,
She's gone through 4.
She's gone through
The-
4 daddies, and she's got 14
14
kids spread out amongst
14
them.
kids. The oldest right now just graduated high school, and she has been under a street lamp since the age of 14.
Wow.
And her 2 younger sisters are following in those same tracks.
Gosh.
There have
man.
been 3. The uncle or whatever the hell he was had a fentanyl overdose,
Mhm.
and that's a drug. It's a drug house, and they pull in Medicaid, Medicare checks every month for each kid in that house. Like,
Gosh dang.
you want to talk about playing the system? It's that.
Yeah, that's a freaking cash cow right there.
Literally.
Yeah, shoots a cow. Sorry. Oh man. Yeah. At some point, you'd have to figure out that maybe you should just close your legs.
No, because that's just a paycheck waiting to write itself.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man. Yeah. So.
Oh.
But this is, as we were talking about, this whole issue though with this Medicaid. This is clearly, obviously, Medicaid fraud, but this is
Well,
sad. What the damage that
Social-
they're doing.
Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid just needs to be gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it does. It's lived
The-
for a time, and now it's more of a negative than it is a positive.
Well, let's take a look at the numbers, right? These programs only work when these programs only work when it's a population pyramid, right?
Mm-hmm.
The boomers are the biggest generation that the United States has ever seen. It's been on a decline ever since.
Yeah,
So the
Gen
boomers
X is
seem the
smaller,
biggest-
millennial smaller. Gen Z is like missing a third of its generation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So it's like we're sitting right now on a triangle on its tip, right on its most point.
Yeah.
Things are going to topple here.
And the
for
tip
too
keeps
long.
getting smaller with each generation.
Like, I don't know how small Gen Alpha is, but I mean, my youngest is the beginning of Gen Bravo.
Yeah.
Our tracking.
Are they? How old is Gen Alpha that old now already?
Yeah, we're now in Bravo.
Gosh dang.
Last year was the beginning of Bravo.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, so Alpha goes
So
from
as of now,
24
Bravo generation's being born.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alpha is like, what, 2014?
Dang.
2012, 2014 is when Alpha started?
Dang. I didn't realize that.
Basically, there is no point.
Ish.
Huh. Well, let's go ahead and
I think
hit the next
generation-
tab, babe.
Okay, the last
I think
thing wanna
generations are 15
mention
years
is-
now that I think about it.
Now, do you know how other
It's
states?
anywhere between 15 to 25. What's up, babe?
Yeah.
Do you know how other states keep on denying that they let a lot of fraud happen, like Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that? Right
Yeah.
here, California, Arizona. The lawsuit, which the state tried twice unsuccessfully to have dismissed, is now back before a trial court after the Arizona Court of Appeals and Arizona Supreme Court both allowed it to proceed. They didn't want this getting out. They wanted to cover it up.
Yeah, they wanted to cover up this lawsuit and get it dismissed, and both the Arizona Appeals Court and the Arizona State Supreme Court are like, no, this is a legitimate lawsuit. They have a legitimate grievance. They get to sue. All right.
Any other articles you want my opinions on before I check out?
I mean, you can just stay as long as you want to, for the most part.
I didn't know if you had an article in mind. I gotta check out here in a minute.
Was there any articles you think you'd like Logan's opinion on? We can just jump to, babe.
Huh? I don't know. Because we have water problems.
Yeah, we got plenty of water problems.
We have Islam going to be becoming the religion of Massachusetts.
Oh, there you go. Let's hit up that, Logan. You've been out
We're
of the
going
loop.
back to the desert.
Massachusetts proposes Government Islam Commission. It's not law in their state yet, but they're effectively trying to create an Islamic commission in the state of Massachusetts to help them pick Muslims of their choice for appointed positions in the Massachusetts government.
Well,
Name the amendment they're not violating.
yeah.
That's the shorter list. But I hope it goes. I hope they pass it, and I hope it goes to the Supreme Court. I hope someone sues and it goes to the Supreme Court, because this will pit the First Amendment against itself. Because Massachusetts has become this. In 1833, Massachusetts became the first state in the country to disestablish its church and separate church and state. In 2026, Massachusetts legislators are proposing to reestablish Islam as a state religion with the power to propose laws and pick government officials. And 13 out of 40 state Senate Democrat members backed a bill for a permanent commission on the status of people who practice Islam. It gets into depth on this. It's not been voted on, as far as I know, by the legislator. It's just basically now it's leaving committee for the most part.
Well, it's leaving one committee going to another
Oh,
committee.
so leaving one committee going to another committee. So it hasn't even been voted on as a whole yet. But it's like, it's funny because it's like it's creating an established state religion, which is a violation of the First Amendment, not having an establishment of a religion. But then Islam is a political system. It's a political religion, and so it's like it's their religion to be part of the government, or at least for Islam to be the government. And so it's like that's their freedom of religion. So it's going to pit freedom of religion against the establishment of religion against each other effectively. And so I would love to see this go to the Supreme Court just to see everyone squirm.
Why Peter of Soul so
What?
fucking big?
What'd you say, Logan?
I didn't say anything. My roommate's playing Terraria right now, so you're picking up his.
I know I'm picking him up. I've been hearing him for a while. I hope he's enjoying his time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, scroll. The Government Commission will, among other things, use its government access to identify and recommend qualified American Muslims for appointive positions at all levels of government, including boards and commissions. This amounts to a government-created body making the practice of Islam into a religious test for government office, which is that whole no religious test part of the Constitution, too, for holding political office.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what happened to we don't care what you believe in, just be good at your job?
Well, that's the problem, is we do have to care what they believe in, because sometimes what they believe in is the destruction of this country.
I
Ugh. I know. I figured this. You want to...
Islam is a devil. So, I have nothing wrong with the Islamic people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know quite a few of them. They're awesome people. It's the religion in itself, right? It's a double-edged sword because it's like we want to not care about what you believe in because that's the fundamentals of what America was built on.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom of religion to practice how you want, wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also a worry of being like, well, if they believe in the downfall of America, where do we draw that line in the sand?
Mm-hmm.
Being like, no, that's not right. At what point do we go back to the Cold War and be like, no?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like in parts of Texas where they've got actually a freaking Islamic tribunal that keeps trying to do its thing, and they keep trying to go after it because it's trying to enforce Islamic law on Muslims in the state, and also without these disputes between these people actually going to an official U.S. court. And it's like at some point we have to honor the supremacy clause that the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And they keep trying to find a way to circumvent that while they're here. And it's like at some point, it's like, are we going to lay down the law, or are we going to let them effectively just take over?
Yeah, like I understand the whole believe what you want thing, but at what point is self-preservation more important?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, it's that
I don't
great.
know.
It's that idea.
I can't have these opinions.
Well, it's that idea of being a tolerant society also can be self-defeating when you start tolerating ideas that want you to be eradicated.
Yeah.
And it's like at some point being tolerant is no longer a virtue.
Yep.
And we need to define that line, and when we define it, we need to enforce it.
Yep. And on that note, I'm gonna bounce for tonight.
No problem, man. You have a good night.
You as well. It was good being back on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Great having you back.
Well, I will try and get on again at some point. I can't promise that. I can't make any promises.
Yeah.
It's
all right if you can't. It's like I get it. You're busy out there, and you got to put your effort into that. I'm honestly surprised that you even were willing to come on, because I imagined you would just be so dang tired.
Holy shit, man! This shit's hard.
Yeah. I've only heard about how hard it is, and I had no interest in it.
I'll put it this way: a normal EMT gets their license in 7 months.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Cramming everything into 6 weeks.
Well, not only that, you're cramming it into 6 weeks, but on top of that, you're expected to do it under the worst conditions you can possibly imagine.
Oh shit! You want me to get into that real quick before I walk out?
Sure, go ahead. Whatever you are able to talk about.
Better wait, actually.
Yeah, that's why I put that caveat in there.
Yeah, better wait.
We can always wait till you get back and we can talk about it more. But yeah, if anyone wants to go and see what Combat Medics 68 Whiskeys are doing, there's tons of videos online. It is probably the hardest field job in the military.
By far, it is the hardest training in the military that the Army has to offer. Like, on your basic MLS scales. I'm not comparing myself to the 18 series or the special operation guys and their training.
Yeah.
I'm talking basic AIT.
Yeah.
Advanced individual training. This is the hardest course that somebody can go through. Because you got to get your EMT license in 7 weeks, and then you got to get your military medicine training done in 9.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
I know. Well, good luck to you, man. You have a good night, all right?
You're going to need it. We will talk to you guys later.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Ugh.
So, the article, back on the article.
Yep.
It was talking about This
We
entirely.
might have to just skip some of these because, I mean, it's already getting later.
I know. We'll just try to brush through them.
No, you're good. Well,
This-
if we skip some of them, we can save them for other weeks or even doing shorts.
Yeah.
So,
So
Go
this is entirely unacceptable for a taxpayer-funded body because it shows a clear denominational preference for public office. And this article also points out that CARE is probably the one who is behind this in the first place.
yeah, CARE, which we know is connected to the Muslim Brotherhood, we just can't technically prove it.
And this also points out a problem it creates for Massachusetts. It says they have to define Islam,
Mm-hmm.
beginning with its creation of a government religious commission on the status of people who practice Islam. It is not clear how Massachusetts exactly intends to define the practice of Islam. There are two branches of Islam and various groups, like the Nation of Islam or the Ahmadis, who claim to practice Islam but whose beliefs differ, or whose religious beliefs Muslims reject. So then they have to decide who is practicing Islam and who isn't. And so who will be barred from this
Yep.
commission because
That's
of all
a-
that
This
drama.
is the problem. This is why the founders wrote this into the Constitution when it comes to a religious test. Is if you're going to do any kind of religious test, you then have to define the terms when it comes to this. And so it's like if you're going to define the terms of basically saying that you have to have a Protestant style religion, what do you mean by Protestant style religion? Which means you have to define that. Now, if you define it, that also means you may end up excluding people you don't intend to exclude.
Yeah.
And you don't want to exclude. And so it's like that's the thing is by doing so, they could end up excluding Catholics. But by excluding Catholics, you also may end up accidentally excluding Orthodox when you don't want to exclude Orthodox. And so you run into these problems when you start defining these things, and that's why you have to be very careful what you choose to say when you're writing these laws.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing?
Getting rid of some of the stuff you said do for later. So,
What stuff were you getting rid of?
I'm just putting it near the end for another day
Oh,
because
okay.
it took so long. You asked me to do that.
Yeah,
so,
sorry.
So Jamie Eldridge, the leading proponent of the Practice of Islam bill, has been saying quotes about the bill from CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations. And this is the main part that's kind of curious about this. CARE's endorsement is a significant issue because Bill S2134 also states that members of the Permanent Commission must have demonstrated a commitment to the Muslim American community. That suggests backers such as CARE will be picking members of this commission. And they have been associated with terrorists repeatedly.
Yep.
So they are not a good group to be in charge of this. And they will make sure they weasel their way in.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and hit the next tab. What do we got there?
This is the drama that happened in Maine. Another Muslim issue.
Oh, yeah. Logan mentioned something about this actually because he had mentioned that there was some issue up there in frickin' Maine. At a time when Oh, this is that one.
Yeah, the
Oh
one
my
I got
gosh.
you. What?
This is just, it's so rich. So it's like, at a time when Lewiston needs leadership, Commissioner Shruki Maki Mokomaka chose confrontation. So scroll on down. So,
There she is.
Man. Is she Somali? Because that looks like inbreeding. Sorry, scroll on down. Alright. So, basically, this is just... Lewiston and Maine has been dealing with a massive rise in crime. So this guy goes and is walking his dog down the street. I don't know if he knew whether or not Muslims hate dogs or not when walking his dog past the mosque. I don't know if he knew that Muslims don't like dogs. Now, if an entire culture doesn't like dogs, I'm going to be very suspicious of that culture, first and foremost. But on top of that, though, when you're looking at this stuff, it's like, did he know or did he not know? If he did know, then, I mean, it's funny. If he didn't know, then it's just like, they come out, start confronting him about walking his dog across on the public sidewalk.
Yeah.
In front of the mosque. It's public sidewalk. He can do what he wants. He's just freaking walking his dang dog.
You need to walk your dog.
What's funny is confronting him made him stay there longer, which is what they didn't want him to do. And so police end up getting called. Police show up on scene. And then police get distracted because there's a sausage factory. A sausage company right there next to the mosque. It's like, you're offended by the dog, but you literally got someone handling pork right next to you all day, every freaking day. They've complained about this company too. They want the company gone, but the company was there before them, so screw them. But then someone freaking pulls a knife out on one of the employees of what seems to be the sausage company.
We don't know for sure. It's just speculation.
As far as I can tell, this is completely independent.
See,
completely independent of the guy walking the dogs. The guy's just walking his dog. Police come out to deal with that bull crap, only to then get distracted and have to deal with this guy pulling a knife out, basically in front of them, on an employee of the sausage company, I believe.
We're just guessing. We are not for sure on that, but they have a couple businesses nearby. In a different article, it specified that they do not like the businesses next to them because
and
they're
then
anti.
just to put the cherry right on top, just put the cherry on top, the Muslim council member of the city frickin' tries to threaten the cops with a lawsuit and litigation for arresting these two guys there, who then drove by the scene of all of this and pointed their fingers at like a gun at a journalist in theoretically a threat against a journalist. Whether it's a legitimate threat or not, either way, the officers actually end up arresting them and taking them away. So they seem to have had a reason to believe it was a legitimate threat to some degree.
One of the videos we saw, the guy said it has happened repeatedly. Those guys.
Yeah, it has happened repeatedly, and it is just a gesture. Whether it's actually a serious, credible threat or not, that's up for debate. I don't know.
They've had a lot more crime in that area.
With the increase of crime, I would imagine that there's an increase of that being a legitimate threat.
Here it is. Given Lewiston's recent history of gun violence, including multiple shootings involving juveniles and the recovery of dozens of illegal firearms this year, such conduct cannot simply be dismissed as a joke. Any gesture suggesting that violence toward a member of the media deserves to be taken seriously.
I would just point out, it's just how bad I feel for these cops right now who are there. Because they show up for just some bull crap of a guy walking his dog past the mosque, only to then have to deal with this guy pulling a knife out on an employee right next to him. This is the busiest police stop these guys have probably had. I mean, I guess at least it all happened in one spot, so they didn't have to leave to go to another spot to take care of it. They could just deal with it in one spot. But then they end up arresting those two guys for the threats against a journalist doing this recording, only then to be threatened by that inbred woman with litigation over them arresting those two men. And it's like, if they didn't end up doing anything wrong, they'll be, or if the prosecutor thinks that there's nothing oh, sorry. If the prosecutor thinks that there's nothing, he'll probably just end up just dropping in the case entirely, and they'll just be released. And even then, that doesn't necessarily mean they're direct. They may just be arrested just to go get processed and then released immediately and given a court date. It's probably all that's going to happen.
There is at least a witness, because she loudly accused both this reporter and another witness of lying. She further claimed the allegations were motivated by racism and told responding officers she was.
That's not
she
the
would sue.
witness. That's the frickin' city councilwoman.
Yeah, but she accused this reporter and another witness of lying.
Yeah.
So
So there
someone
is
saw what
another
happened.
person who's a witness to all of it.
Yeah, who was threatened with the knife by the other guy.
I believe it's that bearded guy we saw in the video. And look it up. If you guys want, there's a video of a bunch of this from that journalist. It's pretty funny. But it's fun. I feel bad for the cops though.
Yeah, but she needs to think she's in a position of power, not just to start throwing threats and saying, I'm going to sue you. You're supposed to be calm.
Yeah.
Why do you think she's there? They might want to remove her quickly. She's not a very good representation.
Well, she is a very good representation of the people she herself is only there to represent.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So,
She doesn't care.
good news. Is it something you found?
Yeah, so great news from the Pennsylvania State Supreme Court. Basically what happened is there's these private hunting clubs that have about roughly 5,500 acres between the two of them. These game wardens were trespassing, committing crimes. They were trespassing because they were going onto this property without a warrant to go and put up cameras to spy for illegal elk feeding. And so it's on private property, first of all. It's not in plain view. Like if they're on public land and they can see onto the property and they can see something illegal happening, they can then enter and enforce the law where the law is being broken. But they're going onto property, putting up frickin' spy cameras on site to try and catch illegal elk feeding well outside of normal visible areas. And apparently this was kind of legal to a point with their open fields doctrine that they had in the state, but the state Supreme Court basically, if you go back up and look through the top there, effectively the state Supreme Court abolished the open fields doctrine completely. Right there. This ruling effectively ends Pennsylvania's open fields doctrine on private land where the owner has taken reasonable steps to keep people out. So, if they put up a fence, even if it's a short fence, it's a reasonable step to keep people out with signs saying no trespassing. At that point, because it's not just an open field, those game wardens can't just go onto that property and try to find crimes people are committing. They have to have probable cause to get a warrant to then go onto that property.
Yeah, but if there's an emergency, if they pursue violations, they can see so they can see from the public property or obtain a warrant, they're fine. So, but if there's no justifiable reason to be on there, they can't be there.
Now, the game wardens in this case probably won't be punished. And quite frankly, whether or not they should is a debate. I probably would argue not be punished because they probably were operating under the open fields doctrine, understanding that they were told by lawyers of that agency. So they probably thought what they were doing was legal. And then the Supreme Court decided, no, this is unconstitutional, so we're just going to completely eradicate the open fields doctrine entirely. So, that's gone. Now,
Utah news.
Let's get into some Utah news. So, David Harris Jr., Salt Lake City, has been caught covering up a Muslim rape gang problem. When confronted, they stopped publishing records and mugshots entirely. Kind of a mixed thing. David Harris Jr. needed to kind of understand some of the ways things are done here in Utah. Go back. So first of all, as he had said on there, it's like, this is what the sheriff and district attorney look like. Do you think there's any correlation? Neither one of them is Muslim, technically. The lady on the right, she's Hispanic, and she is Catholic. Well, raised Catholic. Whether she's active or not, I don't know. But I did look it up, and she is raised Catholic. And then the guy on the left, the district attorney, is Sikh. Now, many people have had problems with that. I don't particularly really care. But in general, though, I don't really think that's the issue. And then talking about freaking stop releasing mugshots. It's been law in Utah now for a little while that they don't release mugshots until after conviction. The idea is protecting the assumption of innocence, not releasing the mugshot except in specific cases. I think the next tab has it. Is it? Or it's a Google tab?
This one.
Yeah. So you can scroll down. So basically, protected status booking photos are classified as protected records under the GRMAMA, Government Records Access and Management Act, preventing police and sheriff departments from sharing them with the public or media. And then post-conviction release photos may be disseminated or published by law enforcement after the individual has officially been convicted. Scroll down, there's some exceptions. Public safety threat, law enforcement can release the image of the individual, if the individual is a fugitive or poses an imminent threat to an individual or public safety. Apprehension assistance, releasing the photo is allowed if it actively assists in catching the suspect or eliminating a public danger. And then court order. A judge may order the release of the booking photo if it serves legitimate law enforcement interest. Next tab.
Okay.
I think. Or is it the KUTV tab?
This one.
That one. Murray police fear there could be more victims of child sex abuse cases. The guys, their names are basically Muslim. They're teens. This is the KSL. The KUTV is the one I originally found. The KSL, if you scroll down, we can look through the article. It gave a little bit more detail. This isn't a clear cut like they abducted and raped these women or these young girls. It's more like these girls came, they seemed consenting, although they are legally of age where they cannot consent.
They noted that the use of social media to befriend the two of them was used first.
Well, yes. And they may have been manipulative, but it does not seem like physical force was used, so it's still technically rape, but it's not like these are child predators going and abducting children and abusing them. This is teens going out and getting and hooking up with younger teens. These are 18-year-olds going and hooking up with 13-year-olds, which is still a problem, still a crime. They should still be punished, but this is not a gang rape event though. This is two boys who are horny trying to get it on, and they're most likely Muslim because of their names. Yusuf is his freaking name, same first name as his last name, and then the other one, yeah, because of KUTV, it gave very little information when I was looking at the article, so it made it sound like this was just like straight up rape, as compared to this article explains the circumstances more, and it's like the girl did not seem like she was forced to be there. Like, she was wanting to be there. But it is still rape. And they're going to go to jail. And they think there may be more victims of this. So, in other words, they probably hooked up with more young girls. But they're not allowed to release the frickin' mugshots. And so it's like, well, how are they supposed to release to help find them if most of these girls that they probably hooked up with probably don't even know their names or remember their names? So it's like, here's kind of a problem here. You got to release the photos for people to be able to know who you're even talking about.
But you're also seeing a cultural problem, because one of the other articles I read about this, they were kind of giving up the vibe, like one of them that, oh, this is a bad thing to do, this is wrong. Because they don't have that concept of there's a huge age gap. You don't do that kind of stuff. That's a problem. And
that is another issue, though, too, is there is that cultural issue, which that's a problem with just bringing people here from third world. Even if these two were born here, they're still being raised by parents who are from the third world who clearly have not acclimated into our culture.
Yep, that's going to be one of our next podcasts is about visas. We have some
Yeah, we
interesting
have a
stuff
lot
about
of
visas.
stuff on visas that we're doing a deep dive into. So it's kind of like how we did that Box Elder County episode. There'll be a visa,
It's
an
shocking
H-1B visa
how
episode.
many visas the United States gives out every year for
Yeah,
immigrant visa and non-immigrant.
yeah. All right, let's hit up that next tab.
Okay.
Charmin.
Here is another data center. This is in Tooele.
That was a hard segue right into data centers. So this is actually one we wanted to talk about before we didn't get to talk about. Just another
John
data.
was with us, and it got cut short that night.
Yeah, another data center out there in frickin' Tooele County is one that they want to propose.
It's
Or
right.
they are proposing. They're kind of in the process. There's still some fights with it. Scroll on down.
And they're doing the Utah Inland Port Authority.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have as much power as META.
I don't know.
I wonder, because they have...
I don't know, but there's a lot of our state agencies that need to either be abolished, like MITA, or just maybe have some of their powers kind of pulled back a little bit.
We need
So
to cover
scroll on
that
down.
stuff, too.
Go ahead and scroll on down. So basically, it's a data center that's literally right on the side of the Great Salt Lake. Scroll down. Let's get
1.6
to
miles. And they want to discharge concentrated brine into the wetlands. Just discharge all
that. I
this
know.
stuff.
Scroll on down. Let's show the map. So here's that map of what it looks like for the most part.
Did you want the interactive map?
Yeah, we can in a second. So planned data center right there at the bottom. The Giant Love's truck stop. Is it in, or do they want to put that in?
As far as I know, it's not there yet. I think they're planning on putting it there because it's right next to the...
Well, yeah, it's that big road you see right there. That's I-80.
Thanks,
If
Billy.
in case this is the bottom of the Great Salt Lake, and it's going across to the west. Right now, it's curving up to the northwest, but it's more west than north. And so they want to throw a data center in right there, right up against the side of the Great Salt Lake, where they can just dump their water into the Great Salt Lake, basically.
Yep.
Which is bad. Bad idea.
Yes.
There's been information on, there's now been studies on some of the water coming out of these data centers, and it's not good. I believe you had the article. Do we have the article here or no?
For what?
For the water discharge?
Yes, it is right here. So, this
Where?
facility is going to be 1.6 miles, I guess, kind of from the Great Salt Lake. They want to discharge stuff.
No, babe, the study on the discharged water itself. You had brought one up out of Virginia, I believe.
That
We
was
don't have
Ohio.
to. We can. Okay, well, we can look it up later and do that on another show, because we want to do a whole another one just on the data centers, anyways.
Yeah. So,
So the draft permit authorizes discharge of up to 260,000 gallons per day of concentrated brine at zero dilution into a
seasonally,
seasonally dry receiving channel with no pre-existing water quality baseline. Yeah, that's a problem. We should have a baseline. We should do these tests to know what we're dealing with.
yeah.
The draft permit sets no enforceable limits on total dissolvable solids, chloride, sodium, or arsenic, and contains no analysis of impacts on Class E 5E wetland habitats or Wilson Palthra, Fowlera, whatever.
It's a shorebird species.
Oh. Okay, it's a bird.
So that is just a big concern. They want to dump this out, but this is why I wonder
Look, I'm just saying, Alex Jones was right when he said they're turning the frickin' frogs gay. Okay? We need to be careful what we're just dumping into our wetlands and whatnot, especially if we want to keep them around.
Yep, and just like I was trying to say, I wonder if this Utah Inland Port Authority has as much authority as MITA. MITA. I showed you one small section of MITA's ability.
Mm-hmm.
They can ignore regulations and ordinances.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have the exact same thing? So they're shoving this through because it's like, now we can ignore everything.
Yeah.
That is a serious
So let's go ahead and
concern.
hit up that next tab. There's more Utah news, I assume, because it's the Utah segment. Okay. So this is the map, the interactive map. Scroll out more.
I know, I thought I saw
That's
that.
in, not out. There we go. So that's, you can see there where they want to put that data center. This is, zoom out. They can see that. Yeah, zoom out. There we go. So you can see that's where they want the data center. It's basically, they say 1 point something miles away from the shore. It's basically right on the shore of the Great Salt Lake. All that water is going to eventually end up in the Great Salt Lake.
260,000 gallons a day? That's
Yeah.
a lot of water. Not even water. Brine.
Mm-hmm.
With other stuff in it.
Yeah, it is.
And here it is. Next to Salt Lake, West Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yep.
Grantsville.
Yep. Grantsville down there. Tooele a little further south, because that's the Tooele Valley right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to piss off the people in Tooele, pronounce it Thule.
But just like we discussed, here's the Army Depot. They are not caring about the Great Salt Lake. If they keep putting all this junk in it and it dries out, it's going right into the Salt Lake Valley.
Yeah. All right, well, let's hit up the next tab. Let's get to some church news.
Yeah, some good news.
Latter-day Saints around the world, July 2026. Scroll on down.
This is stuff that we've done in July.
Bolivia, church donates food kits to support families in need. Scroll on down. Let's see what else was going on. There's some images there. Jamaica, church strengthens healthcare through hospital donations.
Here it is. They donated fetal monitoring, ultrasound equipment, cardiac monitors, hospital beds, infusion pumps, stretchers, and other essential medical equipment.
Nice.
I'm happy where our tithing's going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with
Scroll on down. Argentina, wheelchairs donated to support people with disabilities.
that. 1,500 wheelchairs and orthopedic equipment.
Awesome, more than just wheelchairs.
My dad would be happy. He served a mission in Argentina,
Yeah, he did.
so he'd be happy about that.
Yeah, he would definitely be. All right.
Learning conditions in Malawi.
Malawi. I don't know how to pronounce it.
So primary school.
Yep. Ironically, it's improves learning conditions, and we can't even pronounce the name of the place.
So apparently includes 2 classroom block, a 4 classroom block with administrative offices, a new watering system, 18 sanitation facilities, and 250 double cedar desks. So that's awesome that they donated that.
Yeah.
And maternal and infant care to Paraguay.
Very nice.
That is awesome.
I've always found those lights really weird.
Yeah, but
especially in
they
a birthing room, too. A room where you're probably going to have people giving birth. It's like, man, that's really just freaking weird.
Well, that was probably more like a C-section room. For
Maybe.
me, I didn't have anything like that.
Maybe it's just freaking weird. All right.
And they served meals to the homeless in Austria.
Yeah. South Korea, church donation leads to new training facility.
And it's been laid for, I feel happy that a stepping stone has been laid for people with disabilities to step into a wider world. That's awesome. And
humanitarian aid delivered to families in Peru.
Yep. So
fantastic.
That is some. Are you happy where
some
our
good
tithing went?
some good news stuff. Some very nice good news stuff. Utah Stakes witnessed miracles while building Days of 47 parade floats.
The main reason why we pulled this article was because I like the floats. They have a story.
Let's go ahead and scroll down. The story is okay. Let's just look at the floats.
Yeah.
So
this is the cool part.
Various stakes came together and built floats basically for their own stakes for the most part. Scroll on down.
But this part here.
What?
Paying homage to the first pioneer ancestors that came into the Salt Lake Valley on July 24th.
1847.
Hence why we celebrate July 24th every year as Pioneer Day. And I think Idaho does too.
It's funny because we celebrate the 4th of July when we gained our independence from the tyranny of Great Britain. But then we celebrate the 24th of July for when we gained our independence from the tyranny of the United States, which we are now part of again.
And it's almost 200 years. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
200 years.
21 years from now, it'll be the 200th anniversary.
when our ancestors came into the Great Salt Lake Valley.
Yep.
So,
Let's look at the float. So one is this one, the Great Salt Lake Temple.
yep. There's
Keep
that
going.
one.
Oh, there we go.
This one.
So a bunch of wooden dolls representing various people's ancestors. And there's so many submissions, they end up making this chest they put more names into.
Yep, and here's the little quote there. They
They
are
are
a
a
treasure
treasure.
to us. Though only a few stories can be told today, we remember the countless ancestors and loved ones whose sacrifices made our lives possible. Their names are written here and carried with us in gratitude.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one, there's another image of that same float. So
Yep.
quite detailed.
And there
That's
it
the
is.
same float there with the Devil's Gate.
Pioneer children. Look at that one. This looks like a boot.
Yep. Hit the next tab. Or not next tab, that next one. There you go. Great Salt Lake Temple again with a bunch of honeybees, because I know, right? It's a cliche. We're the beehive state.
Yep, it's on our flag.
Yep. Next one.
wanna
Oh my
tell this
gosh. I
story?
laughed a little bit when I first saw this one when we were looking through these before. With the Mormon crickets and the frickin' seagulls that saved them.
Yeah, do you want to tell a little story? What happened?
Oh well.
In
Did
case
you
some
even
people
did you
know.
even know about this story growing up?
I think I've heard about it just from family.
Because I know here in Utah it's talked about a lot more because it happened here in Utah. So after the pioneers got here and they got settled, I think it was the next year there was these Mormon crickets. They're native here. They're not actually a cricket. They are a species of locust. And locusts, when they get into mass amounts and swarm, they actually go through physical changes. So they start out like this small is what they are, and then they grow to like this big. They're freaking huge. And they're solid black, straight pitch black little guys. They're freaky. But then they also get more aggressive when they go through this swarming process. So they grow, they get uglier, and then they get more aggressive. And so these things start swarming everywhere. I've seen one swarm in my life. They don't happen very often, especially anymore. But I've seen one swarm in my life where you could not walk anywhere without seeing them somewhere. Like they were just everywhere.
I've just seen them all over the road, and you're just running over 'em with your car.
Yeah, I've only seen one big swarm in my. I've seen them more often in some years than other years, but there's only one major swarm. So they swarmed like crazy and just started eating all the crops that they had just planted. So they were actually facing a real chance of starvation. And so they prayed and fasted for a solution to this locust problem. And according to Native American oral traditions, the seagulls never existed here in the state. They were never here before. And that's when, so after they had prayed and fasted, that's when they saw the flocks of seagulls coming in from afar, off in the distance. And these seagulls, there are multiple independent reports in journals all across Utah of these seagulls going, eating as many of these locusts as they can, then throwing up, only to then eat some more, which is a debate whether or not some of these birds can even throw up, but they can regurgitate to a degree because they have to feed their young. So they throw it up and then go and eat more. So they're just gorging themselves and then puking it up, then gorging themselves again. So they're basically bulimic at this point. Other reports of them picking up with their feet as many of and their beaks as many of these locusts as they can, and then dropping them into the Great Salt Lake or into maybe Utah Lake. I don't think so. I think it was mostly up in the Great Salt Lake.
The salt would probably not be good for them.
And so it's a really cool story, and there's a lot of independent reports on it from across the state. And then of course there's the Native American oral tradition that that tells us that there were no seagulls here before that event as well.
Yeah, well, I heard this a bit as a kid just because we talked about church history, and we also came up here to Utah every single year for family reunion.
Typically, if you go through seminary, you do talk about church history, and this is a major event in church history, so typically you hear about it.
Yeah.
if you ever go through seminary. But if you're outside of Utah, the chances of you hearing about it are lower than if you grew up here, because it was such a major event. It's part of our culture here.
Yep. So there's that float. The next
Another one.
Just singing, and there's the organ, the pipe organ,
Mhm.
in front of a piano.
Yep,
Or
from
behind
the
the piano,
conference center.
technically. Blazing trails with pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
Hole in the Rock. Golden Spike.
If you haven't been to Hole in the Rock, you should go to Hole in the Rock. Yes, it's not that spectacular, but it is still kind of cool, though, that someone built their home in a hole in the rock. So, still stop by. It's a nice little stop on a long drive going from one part of the state to another part.
Yep.
This one made me laugh because there's a whole debate of the Mesoamerican model versus the Heartlander model. And then there's me that just for giggles, I'm going to just subscribe onto the Baja model just because it's like, why not? Everyone's all heated about which model for the Book of Mormon is right geographically. I'm just going to go with the Baja model because, you know what? Who cares? It's fun. It's cool. And, you know, that way it's the smallest of the accepted ideas, so now I can call myself the rebel. So, even better.
So, this whole image is depicting the Nephites, and up here is supposed to be where Jesus Christ appears to them
Mm-hmm.
after his resurrection.
Yeah.
So that's what this float is giving a history of.
Yep.
And Granny stitching a quilt.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Would that have been fun?
That's very Utah. I don't think other places would do an entire float for a parade where it's just a grandma stitching a quilt.
Mhm.
That is very Utah.
Let's see. So yeah, we just have the one left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why the church invests in preserving historic sites. And this is something we need to do as a culture even more, is preserving historic sites. Not just the church, but the U.S. as a whole.
Because it teaches us
It helps,
so we don't forget.
preserving these sites helps us have that physical reminder of what happened.
Mhm.
And also why.
A lot of people,
Why it happened is just as important.
some of the younger generation thinks the Holocaust never happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's not here in America.
Yeah.
But then over in Europe, they're trying to wash it under the rug so no one ever sees it. or
Yeah,
hears it.
Germany doesn't like talking about it at all because it's a massive stain on their history. But it needs to be talked about.
So
and
it
you
doesn't
need to
happen
preserve those sites. Luckily, they are preserving those sites of the Holocaust. But they do need to talk about it more.
Just like they're not talking about how.
But scroll on down. There's some good quotes in here.
I know, but it's just like how they're talking about in the movie Mulan, the
Mhm.
live action. That in the background, if you look closely in some spots, you might be able to see the concentration camps
For
where
the
they
Uyghur
were
Muslims.
holding the Muslims.
I don't
and
know
they
if you
were,
can see it, but I do
They
know.
were discussing it was supposed to be there.
Well, I do know that they were discussing that it was in the background, but they had edited it out.
And that's what, and all those Muslims, they were using them for organ donors.
Yeah.
They were organ harvesting from them. So.
Yeah, that's the Chinese Communist Party. When you run out of other people's organs, you got to go harvest someone else's.
Look at this. This is an 1896 Tiffany art glass panel
Mhm.
depicting Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, scroll on down. All right, why does the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints invest so much in preserving historic sites? Jacob W. Olmsted, a manager of the Historic Sites Division of the Church History Department, said, "The answer is connected to the Old Testament story of Joshua crossing the Jordan River to enter the Promised Land. Joshua recorded in chapter 4, 1 through 9, effectively. Joshua memorialized the event by commanding 12 men, one each from the tribes of Israel, to retrieve a stone and build a monument. so that when the children and when the children and future generations see these stones, they will remember the great things the Lord has done for the Israelites. He said, adding that the principle is the same for the historic sites division. Historic sites, he added, help us remember the great things the Lord has done for us in this dispensation. Basically trying to help preserve our memories long-term culturally about the things that happened in our past.
And here is the last quote I have on this paper highlighted. The ultimate goal is to tie those stories, events, and individuals back to the Savior, Olmsted said. History is important and it can strengthen faith, but it is ultimately connecting it to the Savior that is something we strive for.
Keep fiddling with the hair I think I got in my mouth and my beard. It's annoying the crap out of me.
And don't forget, starting in September, you can start reserving tickets for the...
Salt Lake Temple Open House.
Yes, and let me look again. When was the last time an open house was held? It's been over 100 years.
Yeah, it's
so
over.
If you want to see
it's over 100 years. We had talked about it before. I'm sure people remember. Open house history. Yeah, gotta delete the dates part. Or yeah, scroll down. Okay, see more. Hit see more. Hit see more.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. 1853
That was the groundbreaking.
was the groundbreaking, yes. Then it's 40 years later, 1893, is when they dedicated it. So the open house was just before that.
President
And in
Wilford
1893, the 1900s, basically the only people who went to the open house.
Woodruff. Kyle, I
Were
just
members
recognized
of
his
church.
name.
Yeah.
Wilford Woodruff.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
The fishing?
No. Historic sites right here.
Yeah, it's the
Wilford
same
Woodruff
Wilford Woodruff.
Converted hundreds from the United Brethren Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in 1840
Yeah, from that building right there.
in England.
Yep.
But 1893, that was the last time non-members and members of our church without temple recommends, that was the last time they have been in that temple.
Yep.
I've never been in it, so I'm excited to go. We are going. We have 6 months to go. You looking forward to it?
Yep. Can't wait. It'll be fun to go. All right.
Do you have any quotes you want to give us?
Don't be losers.
Don't be losers.
Don't be losers. Like and subscribe if you want to watch some more of us idiots being here on the show. Mostly it's me being the idiot and my wife being the smart one. Once we get John and Logan back on the show, it'll be the three idiots again.
And so you want to
Or,
sign off?
well, the three stooges.
Do you want to sign up for your two little buddies there?
Oh, yeah. Well, please give a like and a comment to Grow Grew here and Logachu here. And if you'd like to see one of us chug this bottle of extraordinarily hot sauce.
If you need a hot sauce and you love hot, try that stuff. What's the name on it?
All right. Yeah. Rippin' Rowley's hot sauce. Here's some of the peppers that are in this. Okay. Smoked ghost pepper, 7-pot primo pepper, scorpion pepper, Carolina Reaper pepper, and there's also habanero pepper in there.
And
This is my favorite hot sauce. I love this hot sauce.
And you're looking for the crying tomato and onion. They have a cooler version
Yeah.
and a hotter version.
It's Rippin' Fire Roasted Tomato and Garlic. And they don't sponsor us. But if you guys want to, you're welcome to sponsor us.
You'd love a case.
I'll take the money. I'm already doing it for free. You want to pay me for it, I'll do it. So.
Or you'll just even accept a case of hot sauces.
Oh, you're welcome to pay me in this hot sauce. I will take payment in this hot sauce.
You got 3 bottles for Father's Day,
I
and
know.
1 bottle's almost gone.
Yeah. It's on. I could finish it off pretty fast if I wanted to. I just haven't had the opportunity. So yeah. I should have put it on our BLTs we had earlier. That probably would have finished it off. All right. You guys have a good night. I guess, I don't know.
Our next episode will
Don't be
probably
losers.
be visas or META or data centers.
Maybe. We'll see. Because I want to gather a lot of information on the the H-1B visas. There's some stuff I want to look into first before we do that. Mostly because of the what is it? The graduate degrees, all the degree fraud from universities over there in India as well, and possibly some of them having fake degrees that are working in institutions here in the U.S. So
Yeah.
I want to do a lot more research on that and see what I can find out before we actually really talk in depth about it. Yep. Well, have a good night. Stay cool. Stay losers. Whatever you want to do, I don't care. Adios.